Yeah, buddy. Thanks for your time, Mike.
I appreciate the time, Jahred. Wanted to get into the new album and the tour and look back a little bit and do all that. But man, oh man, you've been on fire here. I figured it'd be another year or so till we got a brand new album with as much fun and product as you put out. Class of 2020 was the last time I talked to you. And I know you had been working on that for a while, but then bam, Khalifa's Worldwide, 70s hits from the pit. So I figured it'd be another year or so. But tell me, when did you start working on the new album, Detox?
Well, okay, Mike. Wow. Uh, some of these tracks have been done for over a year. I delivered the record over a year ago.
Oh,
So,
wow.
ever since COVID hit, I was just on a mad creative um process that I was into recording, and the Khalifa's was born out of that because of all the side work I was doing just to make ends meet. Class of 2020 was kind of thrown together, but this Khalifa's was not thrown together. We really took our time with it. Between class of 2020 and Khalifa's was when I met my new guitar player, my new writing partner, Remy, who's from Holland, Amsterdam, in that area.
Mm.
And so that's definitely part of the magic of the new record. Um, he and I, collabed on it, 75%, 80% of it. The other stuff is, just kind of the head PE thing or me, picking up a guitar. But yeah, so that's the long and short of it, really. Really took my time with it. The people from the label got a little bit annoyed because there were some tracks that I was never happy with. I had rewritten and rewritten and rewritten, but finally the record I delivered I was happy with. But even now when I hear songs, I'm like, oh, I should have done that differently, but that's just the way I am.
Yeah, that's a funny question to get into it. When is a song ever done? Usually you're up against a time limit. You got to go on tour, get it done, turn it in. Do you do like a test in the car or anything? Do you pump it in the car to make sure it sounds right?
Oh, the dreaded car test.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Ugh. Let me tell you about the car test, because I've been doing car tests since the beginning of my career, since I was a kid or whatever, since, anytime I'm at like the biggest studio in LA, in order to really test it, I have to go out, have them burn a CD and go in my Suburban
Yep.
parked out front and play it in the car. That's the true test if the
Yep.
shit's going right. But okay, so on Detox, dude, Remy and my partner and I, we were working on mixes, bro. Like, and this is like overseas because he spends all his time in Holland, right? So we're working on mixes, FaceTiming, phoning, this and that, just 12 hours a day, and just never happy with it. Um, well, we were happy with it until the fucking car check. Excuse my language. But yeah, dude. And then the car check, I was like, dude, this is not sound. It does not sound right for some reason. I don't know, but it ended up in our favor because then we took the record to Ulrich Wild, who's like done the
Oh yeah.
Deftones and
Static X and
Static X, Pantera. Anyway, he's like a freaking wizard. This guy, I don't know what he did, but some of this music stuff is like just magic to me, because I have the same equipment he probably does, but whatever he did to the record just was beautiful. So I'm glad it turned out that way because I really like the way he made it sound.
yeah, the record sounds great. So many great tracks. The title track. I mean, all kind of jams throughout it. Waiting kind of felt like you trying to get back out on the road and waiting for that opportunity. Was that one you wrote kind of early on?
Well, here's a good story about waiting is it was inspired by my teenager and like his different romantic, things that were going on in his freshman year.
Ah,
I'm like, I've been with my wife for 22 years now, and So I don't write many. I may write some love songs, but not too many embattled songs. There's a couple though. There's another one on the record, Too Late, which was inspired by like if I lost my wife, how it would freak me out type shit. But anyway, it's not like that younger angst that you get. You know what I mean? When you're like young and pissed off that I used to like write broke. You know what I mean? For instance, like I was super pissed, back then, and it came out in the songs and the lyrics. So, but anyway, for Waiting though, like I'm saying, I kind of captured a bit of that because I was just, writing kind of let's say it was inspired by what my son was going through, but there's also other shit just thrown in there that's Jahred shit.
Yeah.
Um, but Waiting is an interesting one because it's always interesting for as an artist to like not write strictly from personal experience. You know what I mean, Mike? Like, I think in these days of like hip hop and like gangster rap and whatever, a lot of the population is just so used to like hearing an artist talk about the real shit in their life all the time and forget that sometimes it's not about that. It's just about writing some shit that's foreign to you and trying to like explore that frame of mind.
Fiction. You can write fiction sometimes.
Yeah, imagine that.
Been loving the new album. Been playing Detox a ton too. That's been the first single I've been jamming. Tell me about that one.
Oh, good. I'm glad you asked because I'm always like excited to tell people that like the person or the entity that's singing Detox is the vice. It's not really the person that's addicted, it's the chemical or the action the person's addicted to. So the chorus is like, I know what you want, I know what you need. That's like the vice, whatever it is, whether it's whatever chemical or pornography or whatever it might be. So like, yeah, so that's what that song was. The inspiration for that song was, dude, because you know what? This is my leap year. I'm an old dude, but I'll tell you what, I've had a lifelong like struggle with addiction. But when I was in my 20s, it was pretty gnarly. Like, I couldn't keep a job and like move to different apartments like 7 times in one year. Now that I'm older, it's just like drinking wine and doing, subtle things, but it's still there. So writing the record Detox was just about because when COVID came around, I was drinking a little too much, just like escaping, honestly, just, escaping reality. Which I use wine a lot for because I'm not like getting drunk off of it ever. I'm never slurring my words, but it's definitely like numbing the pain.
I was gonna I was gonna ask you about that with Pour My Wine. Do you have a certain flavor? Are you a Pinot guy, a Cab guy?
Okay, well, I do like Pinot, but that's if I can't find, but it's hard to find like a Greek a Greek dry red, you
Oh,
know. Um very hard to find though. So I like a red wine that's like translucent, where that I can kind of see through it a little bit. And I'll tell you where it started, Mike, where I was watching this like a program about longevity, and it was saying like some of the people with the longest lifespans on earth living on an island in Greece.
ah.
And they like drank wine with 3 meals a day, which was just great. I should have never watched this thing because it gave me the excuse. But anyway, so like I was looking at their wine, and it wasn't like that thick red wine that we're used to seeing. It looked more like a Kool-Aid type of like you could see through it. So then I went on this like trip on the internet to try and find wine from that exact region, and I found it. But you know what? I can't find it anymore. I had
Ah.
like, cases of it too, but I went through all of it.
So the Greek wine, did you get on the Greek food as well? Because that's what I've been into a lot lately is Greek food.
Mediterranean diet, is that what
Yeah,
you're talking about?
yeah.
Well, it's good for you. I'm telling you, the people who live there where it comes from enjoy a long lifespan. So
That's what it's all about. The older we get, man, trying to be as healthy as possible.
it really is. You know what, dude? I was nihilistic in my youth. The early head PE records show it. They didn't age well. Do you know what I mean? For me now, as like a proper husband and father of a son and baby daughter, it's like, whoa, it's like things are so different. It's and you know what's a trip is sometimes, as you know, I've had a long career,
Mhm.
and then like I keep in touch with the quote unquote fan base or the whatever you want to call it. And you know, sometimes I'll change my mind about shit that, like, you know, that is documented on a record, you know, when I am speaking my mind. And then I'll just like evolve in my thinking or whatever, and I'll get a backlash from that, you know, from some people. Some people understand that when you just age makes you evolve in your thinking about certain shit, you know.
Yeah, we got to evolve. We all evolve. I mean, we have to, unless you're
Yeah,
AC/DC or something.
right.
You know,
That evolve. That's how you survive, is to evolve.
exactly, exactly. Well, dude, looking forward to the show, man. We got you in SoCal coming back home, Orange County. I think it's gonna be your first time. Have you played the new House of Blues yet?
Dude, I'll tell you what, I let out a big sigh because you know what? Coming from Orange County and like, you know, making it out of Orange County, right?
Yeah.
Uh, as big as you can imagine, like for a kid that grew up in that area, and like when there was a Tower Records, and then seeing my record, you know, on the fucking sign out there, and just selling out the whiskey and the Roxy, and the Key Club, and you know, just so now, you know, after on this plateau where I'm at, let's call it, you know, coming back to town is bittersweet, you know, because it's not like the heyday like it was, you know, like there's like we're getting played on K Rock and this and that. But I'll tell you what, the reason I gave that story was because when we recently played the House of Blues at the Parish, I was so stoked by how what a wonderful time it was. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was just a good time and good vibes, and it was nostalgic for me to be in town again and have that many people show up and just party with us. So I'm stoked to be back, but again, it's like I'm on pins and needles to see who wants to party with Head PE in 2024. But you know, our record was #1, Apple Metal and Rock, so Mike, you never know.
I love it, love it. And we also got on the bill Johnny Richter and then Stack Styles out of Tucson.
Right. Yeah, I'm really stoked on that, to have some good hip hop out with us, and DJ Swamp, who's also infamous as well, and DJ Product, world famous.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, so it's going to be a good night of music, fucking heavy metal, punk rock, hardcore, a little bit of reggae, some hip hop. It's going to be just, it's good, Mike. You know, I'm stoked. I'm stoked. It's, I wish the run were longer, but it's just Cali dates. No, no. We start off in Montana, Boise, then all Cali, you know.
Little Vegas in there too. And imagine the
That's right. That's right.
imagine the hardest part at this point though, and especially with the new album out, is putting together the set list. Is that like impossible?
Dude, you have great questions. But here's the thing, right? So, dude, okay, so I have like 150 published songs through Head PE, right? So that's like 11 records or something, right? So at a show, what you're gonna play 12 to 15 songs or something. We do like a on some shit, we do like a punk rock medley shit where it's like, you know, it's a choice between playing you know 8 songs in their entirety, or playing 12 or 13 and not playing huge extended parts that are on the record, you know. So that's what we kind of do. I mean, we have a lot of short punk rock songs too, but there's a lot of long like prog songs too. So I'm trying to give the people what they want at the shows, Mike. So I'm kind of like instinctively it's a trick. It's a trip because the songs I choose are some of the, are the like the top streaming songs,
Right.
you know. So it's like there's 150 songs, but guess what, there's 20 that are the top streamers. So I'm choosing from those 20, and maybe sometimes I'll choose from outside the top 20, but generally I look at that as this is what the people want to hear, so that's what I'm trying to play, you know.
Makes perfect sense, dude. I appreciate all the time. Did want to rewind. We've been talking a little bit about the past, just
Yeah.
kind of past, and we're still kind of in the 20th anniversary of Blackout, and kind of wanted to go back to making that record because I think at that point, after the success of Bartender, the heat was on kind of from the label at that point because he recorded that album in a bunch of different places and took a few years to put that one out.
Yeah, and it wasn't well received either. And I wasn't in a good place mentally. The band wasn't in a good place either, in terms of morale. Um,
That
I
just
was
from
just talking
grinding
about,
on broke?
dude. There was several things at play during the time. One of the things was that my guitar player and I, who were the main writers, we couldn't get together. Like, I just couldn't get him to come to my apartment and write with me. So there was that. It wasn't the same. Like, so I'm not sure. You would have to ask Wes what was going on with him at that time to where he was not showing up and writing with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm not really sure why he wouldn't. But so at the same time, so I was a little bit salty about, I wasn't like stoked with everything. I think had Chad left yet? Doesn't matter. But so, and the label was like, the guy who signed us, who may he rest in peace, which his name was Jeff Fenster, who also signed like Guns N' Roses and shit. But
Wow.
he had left the label. And the guy that was left, who was our artist relations guy, he didn't like me or like Head PE or the vibe or anything like that. So him and I were always like, he would come to my hotel room in New York and go over every word of every song and be like, this doesn't make sense. What are you talking about here? This
Uh,
He was really fucking me up. So but so anyway, dude, and I'm gonna be honest with you, at the time, I was a little bit like, I wasn't stoked on like I wasn't stoked on I wasn't stoked on being called like rap rock at the time. So
hmm,
I wanted to put out a record with less rap in it, to be honest.
really?
Um,
How come?
and you know what? Looking back, that was a mistake, though.
Ah,
I should have stuck with my guns, and just stuck with the hip hop that I was into. But there was like things coming at me from different places, and that was just, I'm not one of these people who doesn't have regrets. I've got like a big, huge mountain of them, and that's one of them. Is that when Blackout, I didn't keep the fire bars and keep like my commitment to hip hop. It was a lot of just rock.
mm, interesting. Yeah, I remember working at a different Inland Empire radio station when that album came out and getting the single and rushing it into the studio. And then I was trying to remember, you guys even played out in San Bernardino at a club called Gotham for us back, like right when that album came out. And I was trying to think if that was the Jaeger tour with Saliva or if that was just a straight headline.
I don't know, but Gotham was huge for Head PE. And again, that's like a bittersweet place where I have the best memories and the worst memories of Gotham, dude. And I'm talking about, yeah, like drug fueled, terrible memories. Uh, at Gotham,
Any stories, any Gotham stories you care to share?
just like, just like, you know what? The reason I don't share details is because, like, I have a teenage son, and then his friends will be like, "Hey, here's your dad," on their phone, and they'll be like, "Hey, here's your dad doing this and saying this." And I mean, I'm not making it up. It's already happened. And
Right.
so I'm very reluctant to like tell the fucking gory details about stories. But let's just say Gotham. Oh my god, dude, it's just dirtiness there, good and bad. But yeah, dude, that was the heyday. Like, we were selling that place out like before getting signed, right? Um, because we could go from like Vegas up to like, Pocatello, Idaho, before we got signed, and play some pretty sweet shows. But yeah, dude, that's the Blackout thing. Wow. Like, I had like famous people, or famous people. That What a terrible thing to say. I had like Shabo from System of a Down like tell me straight to my face he did not like the Blackout record. And that,
Wow.
like, to this day, like, can you imagine, like, that hurts, because
Yeah.
like they're like a god band and he's part of a god band. And so it's like, and I know for a fact that, like, I'm really gossipy, I guess, but I just know shit. Like, I know for a fact that, like, dude singer from the Deftones is like not a fan either. And
You-
these are like two bands that I'm like are like my favorite bands ever. You
Yeah.
know what? I've heard that like that happens like when you get into a business, it like it lifts the veil and it's like it's no longer like you can't like enjoy it the same as an outsider. But I don't care about that, you know. Because everyone's dude, because I'm one of these self-aware guys that's like, one, I'm aware that I'm not the smartest guy, and B, I'm also aware that like a lot of my music's super corny, and then like as I'm writing it, I like know that it's corny and then still do it.
You got to have a sense of humor. You got to laugh in music. You can't be serious all the time.
Well, maybe I should be serious a little more of the time when I'm like hitting record, Mike, but it just is what it is.
Well, lastly, just to put a button on that little time period, I've recently kind of become friends with your OG drummer, BC, who says hello.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah.
playing with some friends of mine in a band called Bias, and I told him I was talking to you today, and he just said, "Say what's up."
Yeah, they're nice guys. And I saw BC in Vegas and gave him a hug. And you know, we were actually supposed to play with Bias and Wes's band Human um at the Whiskey, like my band Head PE, uh this version of Head PE
Mhm.
uh was supposed to like do a show with them, which I was pretty excited about, where we would like, you know, their bands would play, and then the old version of Head PE would play some of those old Head PE songs, and then the new version from Head PE would play like the new shit, like the Peer Pressure, Sophia, Raise Hell, Renegade. The old shit is like, you know, Bartender, yada yada yada. So,
Ready to
dude, that
die.
sounds so exciting to me. But I let my manager kind of uh handle that, right? Because it's a big ordeal, like getting all of us back on the same stage. Well, I don't want to say it's a big ordeal. I just want to say I think it's better for someone other than myself to
For you to
to
work.
handle it,
Yeah.
you know. But nothing but love for BC and everybody that I've ever fucking um uh earned a living through music with, and especially, you know, those guys. That's a special place that exists with BC and the whole, you know, BC, Mark West, and all the guys of us playing before ever doing a record, because after that it's totally different. Then it's me just hiring guys and offering cash to go and play and finding the best guys, because I also have a repertoire already that people want to hear, and then I can pay you. Where it's like with the original guys, though, it's more just like everybody already has a day job and they're just like going in at night and practicing and having fun and like playing shows in Riverside at Gotham, you know, and just, you know, running the shit, but not yet making it worldwide. Because now, you know, now it's like Australia, England, Bulgaria, Russia, wherever, you know, I can go there and pay my guys. But before, it's just a dream, you know.
It's like a fraternity. It's a little fraternity you have with those OG guys.
Yeah, because you know, but somebody was mentioning like I don't know, like how many different members have come and gone, but and at the same time, I look at like the guys I have now, like Trauma's been with me for like 15 years, dude. You know, and
He's
Kurt
built
for
10 now.
like 10. So it's like, wow, it's such a long train ride, but I'm an old geezer, so there has to be a history behind me.
I love it. Love it. Jahred, appreciate all the time. Last thing I got for you, man. We're an old school radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica, which you're going to be a part of every night at 10 o'clock. And I was just trying to think, man, if you did 80s hits from the pit, would there be a Metallica tune in there?
Oh, dude. Yeah, but you know what? Whoa, what's wrong with this shit? Oh, my keyboard got unplugged. But you know what? Let me take, since my brain is not, my memory isn't what it should be. Um, let's go ahead and bring up some of these tracks. Oh, I would like to do some of the shit from like Masters of Puppets and shit like that.
Master of Puppets. Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Cause check this out. I was like living in like, either Garden Grove,
Garbage Grove.
yeah, Garbage Grove or Orange or Santa Ana, some shit like that. Dude, I've lived like 12 different places when I was just like killing myself in Orange County. But dude, I remember the kid who lived downstairs from me brought up the Master of Puppets and the fucking uh the new Guns N' Roses record, Appetite, for
Yeah.
Destruction on two records, and he played them both for me. He's like, dude, you've got to hear this. This is the shit right now. And I was like, whoa, that is so great. And I really went to see Guns N' Roses at a place that held like 1,500 people, some kind of something ballroom. The name escapes me right now. But yeah, Mike, that's a good story right there. But anyway, yeah, I would like to like Seek and Destroy or some old shit, right? For Master, or that's from Kill 'Em All though.
Yeah.
Shit like that, I would obviously love to do something before the Black album,
So you felt that too when the Black Album came out. You were kind of like, "Whoa, what's this? What happened to my metal band?"
Yeah, but the Black album was still huge for me, and I still fucking loved it. Like every time I even mention it, a certain spot, like a road between Orange and like Santa Mission Viejo or something, like a
Oh,
street I
the
used to
Canyon.
drive. Yeah, exactly. I picture that every time because I used to drive it every day after work, and that record had come out, and I would just blare it. Remember, like our old school stereos that had like no bass or anything. Uh, but anyway, yeah, dude. So, but it was like again, it was different. But for me, I still really loved that record, dude.
Yeah, I mean, great record, but it was just at first like, "Whoa, what happened? What happened to the thrash metal?" You know?
Right. It wasn't thrash, dude. But look how huge it became.
Oh yeah. I mean, it gave them their career. I mean, I think it still sells like 1 million albums every year.
Right, dude. That's insane, dude.
Have you ever gotten to see them live or share the stage with them on a festival or anything?
Okay, I mean, I didn't see them, but we've shared the stage with them. We played on the same stage as Metallica. I can say that, but I it's more satisfying to say like we've played on the same stage as the original Black Sabbath, and I watched them play. But I don't know. And you know what? I could have watched Metallica that night, but who knows what old school Jahred was doing, just fucking off somewhere doing something stupid, you know.
Talking about Black Sabbath, you're referring back to Ozfest and doing that whole run.
Yeah, dude. And like we also were on a record that a Sabbath tribute record with like Pantera and
Yeah.
System and stuff. And I was in Japan doing a press tour, just me and a chaperone who had like tour managed Pantera and brought me backstage at a Pantera show. And Phil Anselmo like wrote his address on a napkin for me Phil
Wow.
said to me, he said, is that you on the Sabbath? He goes, your head PE, is that you then on the Sabbath tribute? And he goes, you've got a hell of a voice. And
Wow.
he goes, but you've got to cut out that rap shit. Really said that. And I think he gave me a few Valium or something. Like, are you in the ups or downs or something like that? He said. And anyway, maybe I've said too much.
I
But
love it. I love it.
Phil gets a lot of shit for the whole racist, how
Yeah,
thing. But
yeah.
let's give him let's give him a card or something. No, I'm trying to be funny, but
I love that he's gotten Pantera back together or gone out with the new version 2.0, I guess, Pantera.
is that okay? Is that okay? Oh God, I don't know if it is. Without look, I can see doing it without anybody else, but without Dimebag. Oh,
I
I could
know.
if it was Phil and Dimebag and two other guys, but like the fact that it's Phil and two guys and no dimes, just like Oh,
Yeah,
I
crazy.
guess you could see it and be super nostalgic, but as we're talking about it, it's not right with me yet.
I feel you. I've seen it, and I thought it was cool. I mean, it's great to hear those songs live again.
Okay, so there you go. And that means, you know what? That carries a lot of weight with me. You know what I mean? Someone who saw it and thought it was cool. You
Yeah,
know
it,
what I mean?
it couldn't have got better people. I mean, Charlie Benante from Anthrax on the drums, and then Zach Wild, Dime's old homie, on guitar. It
You
works.
know what? Maybe that's the only dude who could do it too. Is you know what I mean? Zach Wild, who I also have a story about, where we were both in LA doing doing a radio interview, and I met him backstage, and he was super cool, and then just like pulled over a trash can and took a piss, practically, as no, not practically, literally, as he's talking to me, just like turning, like talking to me and just pissing in their trash can. What a, like, that's fucking metal.
Who was
I
drunker
mean,
though at that day?
huh?
Who was drunker that day? You or him though?
Him for sure. I was probably more tweaked, you know. And he was more drunk, like opening up bottles on his belt buckle and
Oh yeah,
shit.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was saying his what Zach was saying that day is like, I've been married for this and that. You know, I'm a true Viking. You know, I'm fucking faithful to my wife. A lot of these Vikings go around and they're unfaithful to their wife, and that's not a true Viking. Anyway, dude, it's, you know, with a memory like mine, it's amazing I can remember this shit.
Well, I appreciate you sharing some old stories, man. And it's always great to talk to you. Lastly, beautiful man. Thank you so much for the time. Can't wait for the show at House of Blues, and hopefully I'll get to say hi to you out there.
Yeah, Mike, thank you for your time, my brother. I'll see you next time.
Later.
All right, peace, bro.